Good evening. As commissioners of the MLB, we wanted to talk about some general facts about the MLB and its history. Hopefully by the end of this, you'll be more inclined to get involved with this wonderful sport of baseball.
To get us started, Major League Baseball, or the MLB, revolves around the game of baseball. It is one of the oldest sport leagues in the United States, with some teams being among the oldest globally. The league has 30 member clubs in the U.S. and Canada.
Alright, let's take a look at the spread of teams across the United States. As you can see, the Northeast and Western coast have the most baseball teams. This is largely due to urbanization and the larger populations in the area, which creates strong markets for the sport.
Each of the areas on the map are urbanized and have a lot of people. For example, California has 5 MLB teams, and California as a state has a population of around 40 million people. Additionally, northeastern states, including New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Maryland, and Massachusetts, have populations of around 8 million, 12 million, 11 million, 6 million, and 7 million, respectively. This means that there are enough people living there to spread the popularity of the sport by going to games, helping to fund the teams through ticket sales, and additionally through watching on local TV stations.
Right. Teams often go to the most marketable areas, which have included the East Coast and the West Coast of the United States, mainly with some more teams in the central U.S. and Canada. For instance, New York City, which holds the Yankees and the Mets, has a metro population of over 19 million, many of which have cost the teams, bringing viewership and money to them relatively easy.
Teams in less populated areas find success both through local and urban population, and through surrounding areas with low amounts of people that spread out in the vast prairies of the central U.S. But look for entertainment on TV to buy time, often watch baseball. For instance, Kansas City has a metro population just over 1.7 million people, leading to them having a harder time getting more local fans with less people. So they have to rely on more overall area teams that are more closer on the west and east coast, thrive more on both on local urban population, but also the surrounding suburbs where people come to watch games or watch TV on them.
The West Coast, including states like California, Washington, and Arizona, has the highest level of interest in baseball due to the large populations and presence of these multiple teams that are close together.
Historically, the MLB began in the Northeast. The first team originated in Cincinnati, Ohio, and the sport grew rapidly in that region. The dense concentration of teams focused strong regional traditions and loyal fan bases.
Looking at the MLB's history, the National League was formed in 1876, followed by the American League in 1901. Previously, the National League and American were independent organizations, but they merged later on. The National League was first built a club or a team-based system, and it went on to become one of the 2 leagues that formed the Major League Baseball that still exists today. Moving on, let's welcome MLB star and 2024 NL MVP Shohei Ohtani. Mr. Ohtani, how do you feel about the increasing numbers of players from Japan joining MLB and Thrive?
Honestly, it's incredible. The average of 12.9 million viewers from Japan during the World Series really shows the amazing support for my home country. This support isn't just for me though. Like, I have teammates such as Yoshinobu Yamamoto, seeing the growing fan base from Japan, and they're really playing a large influence, and that's such a blessing for me.
What about the rise in Dodgers fans in Japan?
We've seen a huge increase in fans from Japan, and it's amazing to have their support. It's not just me, but also the global appeals of players like Yamamoto. Watching the sport grow back home with my family and friends, supporting me from afar, has been a surreal experience.
How have the streaming services impact the MLB's global reach, especially in Japan?
When you look at services like Fuji TV and J Sports, they've really revolutionized the way people watch sports. And my family and friends in Japan can now easily tune in whenever they want, and this accessibility has really boosted the MLB's global viewership.
I definitely agree with that, because when you look at the increased viewership in Japan, it has led to a spike in revenue for the MLB, which has led to better quality games for the fans watching, because the MLB has been able to allocate more time and more money to the experience of fans and viewers all around the world. However, the increased viewership also means that the teams that were once local are now more international, meaning teams that have historically had a certain culture or a way of playing may lose their ways to cater to more viewers around the world who wouldn't be as familiar with local city culture of a place like Philadelphia. And going off of that, what are your thoughts on migration of Japanese people coming to the US for baseball?
Well, with more migration of Japanese baseball players to the U.S., teams like the Dodgers and just other teams in the Western United States have seen a massive uptick in the amount of players who seek to join their team from Japan, just because of the proximity to Japan. And this has led these teams to now have a massive influence over Japan and the marketing of baseball in their country. And this near monopoly over the fans in Japan has led to all the Japanese players wanting to be signed there, and it creates a little bit of a disparity in the league, and there being a focus of talent more in the Western teams rather than being evenly distributed across the league.
Alright, that's all we have for you. Thanks, Shohei.
And now we move on to another prevalent figure in the MLB. His name is Fernando Valenzuela of the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's a symbol of the connection between the two countries' leagues.
Hello, it's very good to be here.
So, Fernando, why don't you tell us a little bit about Mexico and its history in the MLB?
Well, baseball was introduced to Mexico in the late 19th century through border states such as Texas. However, it's hard to give an exact location where baseball originated in my home country. Presumably, American sailors came to Mexico during the Mexican-American War and played, games amongst themselves, and, that kind of brought it into the country. Mexico focuses on two professional leagues, actually. Liga Mexicana de Béisbol and Liga Mexicana de Pacifico. There are 115 Mexican-born major leaguers, but amateur baseball teams have also made some strides in Mexico, too.
Wow, it looks like Mexico has had a very long history with baseball. Is this something that is popular with Mexico?
Well, people and traditions like these have helped grow popularity of baseball in Mexico, and spread to some other countries too. Popular teams like Aguilas de Mexicali have benefited from widespread broadcast deals that were made, making this more available to people in Mexico and the U.S. to watch. And in addition, there have been some MLB, teams using digital platforms to become more global. So, that's engaging fans in Mexico, other countries too. Live streaming games, sharing behind-the-scenes content too on streaming platforms and places like YouTube has helped significantly start some more interest globally.
Alright, thank you so much, and give it up for Fernando.
Okay, so now let's talk about some recent World Series championships. Although the New York Yankees have won the most World Series titles with a history of 27 total championships, the Los Angeles Dodgers recently won the 2024 World Series against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. The Guardians came in third place for the league this year. In 2023, the Texas Rangers beat the Arizona Diamondbacks with the 7-game series ending in 4 games to 1 in favor of the Rangers. The Phillies and Astros have had the same record that year, but due to the Phillies' victory over the Astros during the regular season, they were ranked third place. In 2022, the Astros won the World Series, with the Phillies losing and being the runner-up. The New York Yankees came in third place, losing in the ALCS to the Astros. Watch the MLB to keep updated on who's next year's World Series championship.
Overall averages for the league and focus on recent championships and historically successful teams in Mexico. There was an increase in minutes watched last year, jumping from 12.7 billion minutes to 14.9 billion minutes watched, which was a 14% increase. The 2023 World Series featured in the Arizona Diamondbacks, who ranked 20th in the overall popularity when looking at ticket sales and viewership. The Texas Rangers, who were ranked 16th. This World Series averaged around 9 million views. Then in 2024, the World Series featured the LA Dodgers, who ranked first, and the New York Yankees, who ranked second. This game saw a 67% increase of viewership, averaging 15.8 million US viewers. This can be attributed to the popularity of the teams, which makes people more inclined to watch. Also, with players like Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinori Yamamoto, there was an extremely large Japanese viewership
of 15.2 million Japanese viewers on Twitter.
Cities like New York, Boston, and St. Louis remain MLB's hotspots due to their long history with baseball, and these traditions keep the sport alive and competitive in these areas.
That's right. Teams that see more popularity and have more revenue and success have the ability to afford better players. Unlike leagues like the NFL, there's no salary cap in the MLB, so the owner has the final say on how much money is delegated each year. Teams like the Dodgers and Mets have owners that are extremely wealthy, and this allows them to sign the most popular players and the best players each year, which continually contributes to their success.
The support for the White Sox, Rockies, and Giants, though, is not because of their success in the sport, but rather because of the history of baseball in their states, such as the Wrigley Field, located in Chicago, being one of the oldest baseball stadiums in the MLB.
Major League Baseball combines the rich history, unmatched passion, and thrilling competition, making it a cornerstone of American sports culture.
From iconic stadiums to global influence, MLB unites fans across generations and borders.
Whether you're cheering for your hometown team or turning into the World Series, now is the perfect time for the excitement of baseball. Thanks for watching. See you next time.